What's good, everybody? Typo here, coming at you with another video. So yesterday I went to the pre-release for CORI. Didn't win anything, sadly. 3-2. Got to talk to a couple cool people. Sadly didn't pull anything good from my packs, but I did wind up going home with almost the entire Invoke core. For the most part, I'm just missing the Alistairs and two more swords, and then I'll be good to go from there. But anyway, here we have... Obviously, the title just kind of sounds like some straight slop, and if this deck sounds like straight slop, that's exactly what it is. This is a deck that I've been kind of brewing on since we had our, since all the stuff for CORI come out in the OCG, and we've been able to test with it. I've been messing around with this deck ever since that. To try engine build between Mitsu Fiendsmith, there is a bridge, which I think it's a pretty obvious bridge. It come out in CORI. We'll get to the card. I'm not going to say it just yet, but we'll get into it here. So let's get into the profile here. 41 card list. This is the cut down version, if you believe it. It's a 41 card list. The ratios are off. That's something I'm still kind of working with, but 3 left Twinkie skill, Lila Lala Sweet, and then we are playing 2 of these Snitch. This is just another way to get into these guys. So the whole theory behind the deck and what this whole deck just bases itself on is this is another way to get into Fiendsmith, which Fiendsmith can either get you into Mitsurugi if you need to, and or it's just normal Fiendsmith stuff. This is either another way to get into Fiendsmith and or full live twin combo. This will also play around nib, so what you can do if you think they have it or think you're about to get nibbed. So if you're at a point in the game where you think you're going to get in a beard and you have your Link 2 live twin on board, either of them really, preferably it's going to be this one just because you're going on a special from grade. You'd be able to chain this here to the Nibiru to obviously bait out the Nibiru if you can't put Caesar on board just in time yet. But the whole theory through this is obviously just Fiendsmith, like this will just get you into Fiendsmith, or it's a good way to climb into a bow as well, which we are playing, just because a bow is a good card that's going to let you grab any piece of any 3 engines in the deck. Technically, you do not need the Lila Lala, or really you don't need the Sunny Snitches, but I like them in here just because you're just gonna want to see one of these 2 in your opener. Really, this one doesn't need to be played, but it's essentially just a 4th starter if it doesn't get interacted with. Because these are decently low impact normal summons for the most part, so a lot of people will just kind of not interact with these. Most of the time they'll think if you're playing full live twin, they'll obviously wait for the 2s to hit the grade special, and then if they see you bring the Fiendsmith, obviously they're not going to touch the live twin cards themselves. But that wraps it up for live twin engine. Realistically, like a lot of games, this will just be sided out, just so you can put in better side deck cards and just leave this engine here. I like it in the main just as yet again another way to get into it. Fiendsmith package, of course, 3 Engraver, 1 Lacrima, Blurry, Crack. Still not playing the Trap. I just legitimately don't feel like the Trap's worth it because this deck's just not consistent enough. I haven't figured out the exact ratios that I need for it to be as consistent as I want it, so I just don't want to add another break to it. And then the card that ties the whole deck together, Scorching to Chaos. Just a stupid card. I have a feeling it's going to facilitate just a chunk of stupid shit within the next couple of formats, whether that be more Mitsurugi or more Dark Magician stuff, or as I drop the card, or just more, it's just not going to be, I can't say it won't be healthy, but I just have a feeling it's not going to be too good of a card for the game as time goes on. Mitsurugi engine, of course, I mean, you gotta have it. It's in the title. So, 1 Harvakiri, 1 Futsu, 2 Murakumo still. You can realistically just play the 1, but I always want to be able to ritual summon from deck, whether it be Murakumo or I'm getting Futsu, whichever one it winds up having to be, I'll always want to be able to ritual summon from the deck if possible. The little guys, the 1 Soji, Aramasa, Kusanagi, of course you just kind of have to have these guys. You could probably play Aramasa at 2, but then you're just going to have more normal summons conflicting with your live twin stuff. And then you play the Night Sword, just because I do play the Gallant still, and if you're not trying to go for Gallant, this will just be another body to get into a bow, and or your live twin monster if you really need to make it this way. 2 Prayers, of course, 2 Ritual, 1 Mirror Purification. There's absolutely like no reason to be playing free prep in this deck, just because there's like if you're the ratios are kind of set up to where if you're not opening Mitsurugi, there's literally like 4 ways to get into it that's not Prayers itself or Habakiri. It's just pretty easy to get into it, so I'm really not too stressed about not having the pre-preps, because with the way the ratios are, a lot of the times when I had pre-prep in here, I was just testing that, and you would just open pre-prep and then the mirror. So it was just way too common, and to be honest, it was completely breaking the deck. 10 traps, 3 Fua, 3 Ash, 10 necessities, of course. 2 Droll. I don't know. This might just be Bell. I don't know. Yeah, I've been flipping back and forth between on siding Bell and main Droll, or vice versa this format. I just really haven't figured out which I want to do. Nibiru, of course. You really only need the one, I feel like. I'm not even siding the other two just because I don't think it's worth it like that. It's kind of one of those things where you open it, you see it, you don't, kind of thing. And you can just side it out of the bad matchups for it, obviously. 3 Imperm. This could probably be 2 Imperm. But I just like the 3 just because feels like it gives you more interaction. Call by. If I was to actually cut anything, I think it would be the Imperm, potentially. Just like talents instead. But I like the 3 Imperm right now. As the format develops, that might change. So get into the extra. So for the Mitsurugi stuff, it's pretty simple. IP, SP, Mondo, Gallant, Exciton. I haven't exactly figured out if I want to keep playing Exciton just as another way to get into Fiendsmith. But I feel like you really don't need it in this deck in specific, just because. But I don't know. I might wind up changing my opinion on that within the future. Not exactly sure. Fiendsmith package. There is some stuff missing from the Fiendsmith package. Obviously, that's just because it's tight extra deck, very sparse for space. So we've got Requiem Sequence, Lacrima, Aerial Eater, and Desire. I feel like this is just realistically, Desire is honestly not needed. You could honestly cut it. Just play Necro Equip if you really just want to have more ways to make Caesar. But then that kind of just hurt. And then if you do it at that point, the only thing that you're going to be using the Fiendsmith engine for is just Link Fuel, which there's not too many things in the deck that you really want to be Link summoned, or that they can even be Link summoned for. Lifespan package, 1 Kiss to Kill Deal, Blink 2s, of course, Blink 4, and a Bow a Q, I believe it's called. So obviously these are just the most important ones you really need to have. You really technically don't, you don't even need the Link 4. I'll be straight up. It's just, it makes the Live Twin engine be a better inboard piece than just ending on one of these guys. Or just ending like one of these with the other one engraved, whichever it is, vice versa. Just because it leaves 2 more pieces of interaction if you're able to put him on board. And then a Bow is just a card that's going to let you get into any piece. It's mainly a grind game card, but it's also just an inboard piece if you're not able to hit your second copy of Prayers or Grave Purification to be able to special summon Murakuma from Grave. It's a good flex card in the deck, honestly. It can be used to combo further. It can be used to interact with the opponent's board, obviously. I forget it has that clause on it as well. I think this is something that Bow is just something that will stay in this deck for the most part, just because I feel like it's a pretty necessary piece when it comes to grind game and inboards, I'll be honest, just because like if they interact with your first couple normal summons and you just have it open like per se Fiendsmith name, and maybe just some form of interaction, whether that be the Imperm or something like that. The game is probably over, but the ratios are just really off right now. That's something I've really got to fucking work on with this. Is just trying to figure out the exact ratios of what we need to be, because the deck is a little high rolling at the current moment, this current build. But going on to the side deck, we are playing 2 Perulia, 2 Bell, 3 Droplet is our breaker. If I could fit it, I would play Slayer, but there's no secret target that we're going to be ever able to send off of it, so it's just kind of just feels like it needs to be Droplet here. Talents, Duster is just another breaker. Just do not want to have to interact with a bunch of these back row decks. And the 2 Thrust, of course, just to get into really whatever you need, whether that be you need to get into Mirror, because honestly, if you have to grab Mirror with this, it's pretty simple. Skill Drain, I'm still on these 2 Floodgates in specific. This one's probably not as good in this version of the deck in specific. Thinking about cutting it for Grinning Grave Virus, but I really don't think Grinning Grave is as good as these 2 still. Still think these 2 are just 2 of the best cards you can put in Mitsurugi by far. Like I said last time, it's mainly just this one. Like, this card's just fucking stupid. Like, it's so accessible in the deck. And then you're just gonna be able to trigger stuff with it, so you can literally do it in standby if you need to, or you wait for the add of a spell, and then go from there. Same for Deck Debbie. Deck Debbie's just good if you really just don't. You just don't want them to have hand traps at all. You just sling the Deck Debbie. Hurts Cold Swing really bad as well. I can't remember I can't remember everybody, but I'm pretty sure every normal summon got by this. I'm pretty sure. I think the only one that might not be would be, I swear one of them has 1700, but I can't remember which one is. I'll try and put it up on screen. But yeah, that's gonna wrap it up here for this one. This is a little bit of rambling, but this is kind of a deck I crafted a little bit. I'd seen some talk of it on Facebook, but I had never seen a definite list for it, so I've just been kind of working on this list for a good while. By no means do I think it is the best way to play any 3 of these decks. I just think it's a fun list. It's sloppy as it is. It's definitely a fun list, and I do recommend it. If you like tri-engine builds or just piles, if you like combo piles, I definitely recommend this deck. It's definitely one of those just like one of those decks that's just gonna have gas in most hands, whether you open like double starters or you're like literally this. You don't even need that realistically. Like these two right here, 2 of the best cards you want to see in the opener. Like legitimately doesn't matter if you see Mitsu in the opener. As long as you see these 2, you'll be fine. To be completely honest, I've been thinking about it. I might do a little combo thing with this, or with this deck in specific. Just because, like I said, I haven't seen anybody talk about this deck in specific or really post about it. Like I said, I have not seen a definite list for this deck, so I think I might just do a little combo tutorial or something like that. Really don't know when I'll be able to record locals next time, to be completely honest. That's why I've just posting player matches, because we've just been trying to hang out whenever we can just to play Yu-Gi-Oh! I could have recorded the pre-release, but it was extremely crowded. One Piece was going on at the same time, so I really wasn't trying to get in anybody's way, shit like that. But yeah, second outro with that said. See y'all later.